Hey everybody, this is Micah and Austin. WWE, our favorite film company, released a new movie called Vendetta. It has their best tagline they've ever had. Get ready for hell in a cell. A double pun since it takes place in a prison. And it's WWE. So this came out a couple weeks ago. They have their big star, the Big Show, who's been he's been a pretty big star in that company for 16 years now. Before that, he was in WCW, and he plays the villain. The hero is played by Dean Cain, who some of you may remember as Superman. That's what I remember him as. I know we can be a little harsh in our reviews, a little critical. This is the worst WWE film I've seen yet. And I haven't seen all of them, to be fair. But this makes Marine 4, any of the Marine films, look like masterpieces.
I gotta say, I think this is the worst film I've ever seen with you.
That you've watched with me personally.
That I've watched with you. That we've reviewed.
Yeah. It's up there. I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. I'd say you and I.
Okay, how about this then? We owe. What was the last film we watched?
Absolution.
We owe Absolution an apology.
We do. We owe Steven Seagal an apology for Absolution. Seagal, if you're listening, which
we apologize.
He actually might be. We apologize. They made fun of me. I watch all their videos and troll them. So let's get into Vendetta.
Can we not?
Oh, we have to. So we get some stock credits, just shots of a city. Dean Cain and his partner, who is joking around the whole time. He is obviously going to die at some point.
He's so obviously the comedic relief best friend that's just going to die.
Yeah. They raid a warehouse or something, and they shoot up some bad guys.
Yeah, that's one thing that you're going to notice throughout this movie. This movie is horrible at explaining what's going on.
That's because
it's called exposition, right?
Yeah, because
exposition is not this movie's strong point.
Well, that's because the people writing this clearly didn't know what was going on.
You're going to be left going, wait, what? Like,
so
throughout this entire movie.
They are confronted by a middle-aged Macklemore, and they end up overtaking him though, but they get shot in the process. And it's funny. At one point, Dean Cain's partner is cornered, and he's got shot, and he's hiding behind like a table or something. And middle-aged Macklemore is he's walking into the room, but he goes, "Come out. Don't make me come in here."
And we were both like, dude, you're already in.
Dude, you're already in the room. I don't know what you're saying. And this is, we already get some bloody shots here. Here's what I'll say about the blood in this movie. This is a very bloody movie. And a lot of it is practical. But there is some really bad CGI blood, like splurts. When someone gets shot or stabbed, you'll have blood like splurting out of their neck or something. That's really bad. It's very poor digital effects.
It's awful.
Besides that, there is some nice practical blood. And very quickly we're introduced to the Big Show himself, being the villain. And he's screaming about something. And we get our first Dean Cain versus Big Show fight.
Of which there are many.
Yes, and this is totally unfair, I might say. No offense to Dean Cain. I do not believe that he stands a chance against the Big Show hand-to-hand. So they fight for a while. Dean Cain takes a pipe and starts beating the crap out of the Big Show with it. And eventually, cops come in, save Dean Cain from getting killed. Big Show goes to jail. Dean Cain then goes to his wife, who is clearly going to die. They flirt because we need a nice scene before she dies. And at one point, the Big Show gets brought up, and Dean Cain talks about how he just arrested him. And his wife asks, "What did he do?" And his response was, "What didn't he do?" That's a great way of explaining your villain right there to the audience. And so then Dean Cain is away, he's at work, and he gets notified by his boss that this is what he says. Well, Big Show was on on his way to trial, but a key witness disappeared, and now the Big Show's walking. This makes no sense. What key witness is there? There was Dean Cain and his partner raiding the place. Not to mention, Big Show tried to murder Dean Cain, a cop. He is not walking. I call BS. Nevertheless, Dean Cain worries when he realizes that Big Show's walking, so he tries calling home. And we oh my gosh. We cut to his house where the phone's ringing, and we see a ginormous hand answer it. Big Show, the camera looks up, it's the Big Show. Big Show puts the Big Show, with this very goofy looking face, puts the phone right up to his ear and goes, can't even do it. I'm sorry. He puts the phone up against his ears and goes, "Hey, baby." "Hey, baby." "Hey, baby." So,
and then we cut to his wife.
So,
she's still alive.
She's still alive. She's taking a bath with her headphones on. That makes no sense. And so she gets dressed and she's walking around the house, and then she sees Big Show. She doesn't really react much, but she doesn't really run to the front door.
She kind of speed walks.
She kind of like quickly walks to the door, not really freaking out. And Big Show grabs her. You brought this up. I think they did this because Big Show was just too slow to go after her if she ran.
I love how she opens the door and like goes halfway and he like grabs her and just kind of pulls her back in and then just closes the door.
There was really no sign of a struggle there.
No.
So she begs him to be merciful. She says that she's pregnant. And then in a very Game of Thrones scene, Big Show starts punching her stomach and cuts up her face and dies. Big Show's facial expressions during this very brutal scene is priceless. Because Big Show is trying so hard to be intimidating. And I actually think, taking, how long I've been watching WWE, take that out of it. I actually think performance-wise, he actually did a pretty good job in this movie being a villain.
Sometimes.
Some more than others. But some of his facial expressions were just
Some of his lines were pretty bad, too.
So over the top. So, Big Show goes to jail. Dean Cain is handling this actually better than we thought he would. To compare this to Skin Trade, when Dolph Lundgren's family gets killed, it cuts to like a couple days later, and Dolph Lundgren is blowing up the Mafia's bar. And this, Dean Cain is just sitting in the backyard with a bonfire, just pit fire, and just drinking a beer with his partner. But nevertheless, Dean Cain does go on a revenge spree. He ends up killing middle-aged Macklemore in cold blood, using more bullets than there should be in his gun. And it cuts to him immediately going to prison. And it just so happens to be the same prison that the Big Show is in. So we then realize that Dean Cain is doing all of this on purpose. He wants to go to prison so he can confront the Big Show face-to-face and get his revenge personally.
Now, at this point, you might be wondering, well, why didn't he just shoot the Big Show when he found him in his house with his dead wife? That's a very good question.
That is a good question. Because I don't think WWE really wants to sell a 12-minute movie. So we then meet our second villain, who is the warden of the jail. There's a shocker. And he has crazy hair, and you realize immediately that this is the guy from the Marine 3 and Bates Motel. Or as I like to call him, Slick Hair, because he's always a skinny dude who is a villain with slicked hair. And this guy could seriously be, the character could seriously be brothers with the warden from Escape Plan, because they are about equally homoerotic and amazing. So Big Show very quickly confronts Dean Cain while he's in prison. Dean Cain is eating lunch. Big Show takes his tray and with his hand scoops up the slobby food and starts licking it off his fingers. I know Big Show is supposed to be a bully, and I know it's supposed to be intimidating. All it really did was make him look like a disgusting pig.
It was disgusting.
It was just gross.
And then after that, Dean Cain starts eating it again.
Yeah. And so they talk for a second, and Big Show talks about how awesome it was to kill his wife. And Dean Cain talks about how awesome it was to kill middle-aged Macklemore, who apparently is Big Show's brother. Yeah, then he says, well, the way I see it, I still won, because I got 2 for the price of 1, referring to the dead baby. Wow. So Dean Cain gets jumped while he's doing laundry, and he gets the crap beaten out of him by 3 bad guys. And this is the first of many scenes where you will be watching Dean Cain in prison, and you'll be thinking, where are the guards? Where are the security cameras? Are there any consequences for any of this? And as when one of the inmates tries to stab Dean Cain, a skinny security guard walks in and goes, hey! And the 3 guys run away.
Run away and then are not caught.
Overall, this was a decent action scene. Before they gang up on Kane for a while, Dean Cain kind of gets some offense in, beats them up. The only part that was really stupid was at one point he grabs a towel and whips it in the guy's face, and the guy sells it like as if it was a punch to the face.
Yep.
That was a little ridiculous.
Yep. But looking back now, that was actually probably the least...
That's probably one of the best action scenes of the whole film now that we actually look at it.
Oh.
So,
it's only downhill from
we
here.
get an unnecessary tease that Slick Hair, the Warden, is the main villain. We already can tell, so this was unnecessary. Dean Cain then decides that it's time for him to get revenge on the 3 guys that jumped him. So he makes sharp plastic from a pen to attack a guy.
That he apparently got somewhere.
He took this sharp plastic and stabbed the guy in the neck. And as you said, where did this pen come from? Where did this inmate get a pen? Not answered.
And also, when he's killing the guy in the shower, it's probably like at least a 2.5 minute fight scene. Where are the guards?
How come he's showering?
Where are the cameras?
How come the guy is completely showering by himself? Do they let inmates... I mean, I guess I've never been in prison. Do they let inmates just have alone shower time?
Do they also let inmates just walk around and into the warden's office to talk to them?
Yeah. That's a nice warden, though. Like, if you need to talk to me, just my office is always open. So, Dean Cain kills this guy in the shower, scot-free. And so we get more scenes of stupidity and Slick Hair being campy. One good thing I will say about this movie is I started to realize more. I actually did kind of dig the music. There was some cool electronic music in the film. Much better than Absolution, I will say that. So the guy that... No, here it was. Dean Cain beats up another guy. He doesn't kill him, but beats him up really bad. So the guy's injured, and he's on a bed recovering. One of the other bad guys just gets to visit this dude, during the day in prison. You are in prison. This is not.
He just walks in.
This is not a freaking hotel where you can just go here and there. This is a prison. And
did we already talk about him killing the second guy with the broom? I'm pretty sure that was before that.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, he attacked a guy with a broom and choked him and
to death.
Apparently broke it. Well, Big Show said he broke his neck. That's what he said. That makes no sense, but neither does this movie. So we then see a terrible transition shot, and I know criticizing a transition shot is kind of nitpicking, but let me just explain what it was. It was the outside of the prison with clouds over it, but the clouds were green screened in, and it looks terrible. So then, Dean Cain is doing laundry. There's actually some other inmates in the room for once, but this makes even less sense because then Dean Cain grabs a pipe that is in the ceiling and rips off pieces of metal that have screws in them. This does not affect the pipe.
It was a support thing. He just kind of reaches up and then just pulls it off.
He pulls it out with no struggle. Apparently, none of the inmates noticed or cared. And again, no guards, no cameras. He takes these and makes them into spiky brass knuckles. And then goes up to one of the other evil inmates, beats him with it, stabs him in the neck, puts a pillow over his face as the guy is choking. Dean Cain is kind of taunting him, and he starts punching him over and over again until that pillow is soaked. And I mean soaked in blood. And it was at this point that I thought, our hero, ladies and gentlemen.
It was brutal.
And you know, you could sit there and say, well, it's like the Punisher. And it kind of is almost, except it was just so random. Because this guy is, before he's been killing these inmates, he's been portrayed as a good cop. You know, a good cop that's been wronged and he wants vengeance. He's just being so over the top, though.
And also, another thing I have to bring up, you know how it's also not like the Punisher? It's in prison.
That's true. I mean, there are some comics where he does go to prison with the intent of killing somebody that like is deep in the criminal world, but still. So then we get an awesome scene where Slick Hair Warden is with the Big Show, and they're talking about how they rule the prison together. Big Show has a hilarious expression on this with his face the whole time, sitting there. Slick Hair Warden is kind of walking around him, getting very uncomfortably close to Big Show's face.
All the time.
And at one point, he asks Big Show a question. He goes, "Think." Big Show's reaction to this is that he looks like he's trying to take a hard dump. So, cut to Dean Cain's partner finally getting killed, kind of halfway into the film.
I'm surprised he lasted that long.
Yeah, but here's how he dies. You know, the warden doesn't just send somebody out to kill him. No. They call him into the prison. He goes into the prison. A guard and other inmates beat him to death. This is a cop. A cop gets beaten to death in a prison by guards and inmates. How does he get away with this? How does he get away with this? How could anybody get away with this?
But as we'll come to see, this is the murder room, so...
Yeah, it's the room where you can just kill inmates. The warden is starting to lose patience with the Big Show. He's disagreeing with the Big Show. And he sees potential in Dean Cain and how brutal he is in killing people. So he basically asks Dean Cain, "Will you be my new enforcer?" To which Dean Cain just says, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And so we see more of every guard in this prison being corrupt. And again, we get more brutal revenge. Dean Cain takes an evil inmate, straps him to a chair, cuts his wrists open, injects him with a drug so he can't move, and basically has the guy just watch himself bleed out.
In the same room that his friend died.
Yeah. So, Big Show realizes that Dean Cain is now the new enforcer, and he's not happy. So, again...
So he just kind of walks into the...
Yeah, so because anybody in this prison can do whatever they want, he just walks into the warden's room, and the warden's...
actually, for me, this is probably one of the funniest scenes.
This was great.
He just walks into the room, and the warden has this thing that every time someone walks into the room, he says, "Sit down.
Have a seat.
Have a seat." And Big Show takes his foot and breaks the chair and then throws it against the wall.
It was awesome.
And the guy was just like, "Oh, you seem upset."
Yeah. So, there actually is one guard in this prison that is not corrupt. And he's actually friends with Dean Cain. And you might recognize this actor from Marine 4. He was a villain in that. But in this one, he's a good guy. The only good guy in this prison, besides Dean Cain. He's talking to Dean Cain about how bad this prison is, so why is he working there? And he is smoking! He is visiting Dean Cain, and they're like in maximum security too. They're not in the general population at that point.
They're in a solitary confinement.
Oh, right. And he's smoking!
Smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
Inside the prison.
Oh, but wait, it gets better. Then he tells, basically he and Dean Cain are kind of hinting like, something's going to go down. and all the evil people here are going to get what they have coming to them. So then the good guard takes a freaking switchblade and kicks it over to the prisoner. It's at this point that I used up half a page of notes to write, worst prison ever.
No, and then to top it all off, after he takes the knife and kicks it over to him, he takes his cigar and puts it out on the wall.
Yeah. Because again, there is no repercussions for doing anything in this movie.
Also, there's some terrible editing here where there's at least 3 times where we see him inhale, but don't see him exhale.
Yeah. The second unit work, as well as just the secondary shots on the back and forth conversations, were not very slick. They were not very tightly together. So
well, if I can notice it, then you know it's bad.
Yeah. So we're getting towards the climax, thank God. Dean Cain is finally ready to kill all the bad guys once and for all. So one of the bad inmates, because there's a lot of them, and they're not well introduced, he is working out by himself. Again, there's nobody out there, just him, and he's on a punching bag. No guards, no cameras.
No other inmates, it's just him.
Just him. Dean Cain blatantly walks out there and starts attacking him. And then all of a sudden, a couple other guys come out to help the bad guy. So it's like a 3-on-1 action scene. This was not well shot or well choreographed. The choreography was kind of silly. Dean Cain, he actually
pretty easily
snaps the guy's neck.
Beats all of them off.
Just looks
pretty
like
easily.
crap. And then we get the scene.
The scene. Can we just call it the scene?
The scene. It's down to Dean. The other guys get killed, so now it's the bad guy he was first attacking. Dean Cain takes the guy, brings him up to the roof. Again, no one sees this.
He goes back into the prison and all the way up to the roof with a knife to this guy's neck.
Yeah. And so then
and
we cut to the lower ground where all the inmates apparently are having recess, and one of the main corrupt guards has a shotgun in his hand. And he is literally 2 feet away from 2 other prisoners, which I want to say, during recess time, do they have guns out?
Well, the ones on the wall, maybe, but...
Not the ones that are 2 feet away from them?
The ones in the yard, no, they're just going to have nightsticks.
Yeah. So, the guy's being a jerk to some inmates, and we've seen this corrupt guard throughout the whole film, do bad things. So then Dean Cain takes the guy up the roof, very lazily throws him off the roof, and then we cut to him landing on the corrupt guard. We cannot do justice explaining just how bad this looked. It was digitally done, him landing on the corrupt guard. It looked so bad. We laughed so hard, we had to rewind it and watch it again.
We had to rewind it and then pause it to calm
So
down
bad.
and then watch it again.
And so after this happens, one of the inmates
It took me aback. I was like, what?
Because, there was some bad CGI blood splurts here and there. Other than that, there really was, and the clouds, there really wasn't that much digital effects that I could see. But that was just shock. That was like Asylum levels of bad. So then one of the inmates grabs the shotgun, kills the corrupt guard, and that's when a riot breaks out. And this is where stuff just really started to just not make sense anymore. And so
this is where it started?
this is where this is it. So a riot breaks out. We actually start seeing security be security, and Big Show grabs a shotgun
Not
or
really.
a rifle.
It's just kind of a free-for-all. They're just kind of running around just
That's
beating
true.
people.
So Dean Cain is outside, and he's ready to charge at the Big Show. Big Show it was either a rifle or a shotgun.
It was a shotgun.
Okay.
Which makes it make even more sense because the shotgun has spread.
Sure. So Big Show has a direct vision of Dean Cain as Dean Cain is charging towards him, and Big Show has a shotgun. Big Show empties that shotgun, firing round after round after round.
At least five shots.
I think it was 6, yeah. And every single time, it just so happened that another inmate that was riding runs right into the gunfire. Now, I know that during a riot, you're not really thinking very rationally, but if there's a guy who is shooting a shotgun over and over again, don't freaking run into the crossfire.
I love the last shot, too, where he grabs the guard and he's, like, using him as a shield.
Yeah, the last time Big Show has a shot, Dean Cain just grabs a guard and uses him as a shield. I have 2 more notes here that I wrote down. This one right here, I just wrote in all caps, body shields, question mark, question mark, question mark, because I was so thrown off at how terrible that was. So, Big Show and Dean Cain have a average fight. It was basically just a fist fight. And the Warden comes out. He tries shooting over and over again, tries shooting Dean Cain, but cannot make it.
Wait, this was so badly edited because he grabs an AR from like his guard and probably unloads at least 10 to 15 rounds.
Yeah.
But all we do is just see him shooting. Like, we don't see what he's shooting at or anything like that. It's just a shot of him just shooting over and over again. And then we'll cut to Dean, like, punching the Big Show or whatever, and then we'll cut back to him shooting. Where are these bullets going? Like,
off screen.
What is he shooting at?
It's all off screen.
Because either people keep running in front of his bullets again, or he's not shooting at Dean, because Dean doesn't get hit at all.
I would love it if they were like, guys, he can't be that bad of a shot. Like, what are we going to do? Well, we can't have more guards run into the crossfire. That'd be too stupid. Just have it off screen. Just do it. So he finally makes a shot, and he shoots Dean Cain in the shoulder. This does nothing to him, though. And we kind of get a tease that we're getting towards the very end, but not quite. We got a little bit more fights to do. So Dean Cain kind of manipulates Big Show into beating up the Warden. So he does. And then a bunch of guards team up on Big Show. Dean Cain starts to crawl away. And then a random villain, I don't know who this guy was.
He was the guy that he beat up in the beginning who was in the hospital.
Okay, yeah. So this guy who has been out of the picture for like 40 minutes walks up and goes, "Hey, remember me?" To which I thought, no. And
yeah,
so
I think that's what we all thought. At first I was like,
who?
No.
So we're going to have another action scene. Dean Cain then pulls out the brass knuckles that he had earlier.
From his ass, I guess.
Where did he get this?
I don't know.
And this time he has 2. Where did he get this?
Oh, he pulled it. He pulled another one off in the laundry room.
And then not only does he start fighting him off, but 30 other guys come in to join the fight.
And he kicks the crap out of all of them.
It was at this point that I wrote in my last note, which is, I give up. Because I just could not take any more notes. So he fights them all off, kills them all off, really. And then Big Show fights off the guards. And Big Show gets ready to shoot.
No. We have to talk to, after he kills off the 30 guys, the other corrupt guard that we've seen throughout the whole movie has the gun to him, and Dean like drops his things and then just grabs the gun from him because of course he's standing like a foot away.
Dean is like right in front of him. The corrupt guard has him at gunpoint. Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose. Dean
that might have actually made it funny.
If Dean Ambrose was in this, which he's going to be in lockdown, but if he was in this movie, it would have been a little cooler. So Dean Cain drops the brass knuckles and then immediately just grabs the gun from the guy straight out of Rush Hour.
And then just shoots him.
Yeah, shoots him. So
bullets. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So this all results that Dean being either shot again or punched again by Big Show. Big Show has him at gunpoint. Big Show gives an evil monologue about his dead wife. Dean Cain pulls out his switchblade
that he got from the guard, who, by the way, is in the sniper tower and doing absolutely nothing.
He does absolutely nothing.
Entire fight
scene. He does nothing. And Dean Cain stabs Big Show in the jugular. Big Show's face when he gets stabbed is so amazing.
All his facial expressions in this movie are amazing.
Big Show was awesome in this movie. I'll just go ahead and say
Do you think he was camping it? Do you think he was just having fun?
I think because look, I mean, I joked earlier about like, oh, he's always in the spotlight. No, like joking aside, I think Big Show does take his work seriously. That's one of the reasons why Big Show has been in WWE for as long as he has. He's a very reliable guy. Vince clearly loves the guy. I think he was taking it seriously, but I think he was also having fun doing it. I don't think he would have taken the role if he didn't. I have a hard time believing that they were forcing him to do the movie, especially at this point in his career. So he dies, and the warden gets arrested. He gets arrested.
After we saw him, we got multiple scenes of him crawling.
Yeah,
Big Show broke
which
his
had
leg.
no payoff at all. So apparently there is, in this world that Vendetta lives in, there is a certain consequence only after like 100 people are killed. And then
at the very end.
And then credits.
No, well, first we get his last the warden's getting arrested, and he's like, looking at
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain, and
I
Dean
want to
Cain's
say
like,
Dean Ambrose.
and Dean Cain's like, "I'll be seeing you soon," and then cut to black. We were like, "Wait, what?" You took your notebook and you threw it in the air and punched it across the room.
Oh, this was awful. Guys, I mean, don't take our word for it. Amazon loves it, but I mean, guys, this movie sucked. Dude, you deserve better. You deserve better. Go, if you want just a cheap direct-to-DVD action, watch Skin Trade. That was fun. Heck, go watch Absolution. Stay away from this, guys. I mean, Big Show is fun, and he is fun.
I mean, watch Absolution for Byron Man.
Yeah, exactly. I can't recommend this. I was really nice about Marine 4 because I didn't want to just crap all over it. I can't with this. This was just too stupid, even for a cheap movie. Even for a WWE movie, this was just too stupid. In what world would this prison exist? But I'll say this. I am still looking forward to Lockdown with Dean Ambrose. Last time I checked, is still not a release date on it. So it's supposed to come out this year, though. But sooner the better. I am looking forward to that. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.